So right here I have my Tormek T8 sharpener, and I thought today let's sharpen some stuff. Let's go over this machine, let's see how it works. Basically, the Tormek here, it has two parts to it. It has a stone part and a honing part. The design is pretty straightforward. It weighs 32 pounds, like 14 or 15 kilos. In terms of size, it's like 10 5/8 by 10 5/8 times 12 inches. So you can actually use this however in either direction. You can turn the machine around if you want and use it this way and get it to spin the other way. Actually, I prefer to do it this way. That's kind of the way I've gotten used to, but it depends a little bit on what it is that you're sharpening. It has this universal support, so the support can either be here or take it off and you can keep it here. This way, or you can even do it this way for support here. So it has this trowel right here. It's this plastic trowel that you just slip in place and then you can raise or lower it. So this is a single phase industrial motor. When you get this unit, that's really what you're buying. You're buying the motor as well as a lot of the fine little details. Now chances are if you have one of these machines, then you probably have this stone on here. This is their original grindstone, and this is what I have used for the past 4 years when I've been using this machine. So what's interesting about this stone is that you can change the grit with this one. This is a fine side and a coarse side. If you want to start with a coarser grit to sharpen or grind down your tools, you use the sharp stone, and then if you want to go finer, once you're done with that, you do this. Of course, with water, lots of water. You need water. You know, the old stone works good. It does go down in diameter over time as you keep grinding it down, you know, not that much. They have some new options that I want to play with now, and those are diamond stones, which is kind of cool. Not all sharpener machines can actually use diamond wheels, because diamond wheels, apparently, I've been reading up on this, diamond wheels don't work when the torque is too high, when it moves too fast. The reason why Tormek can get away with using diamond stones is because their motor is so good and because the torque is so low and it has that kind of, you know, it keeps everything cool. The very first thing to do is remove this stone. Okay, so there is a trick to doing this, and before I knew this trick, I'm not even gonna tell you how long I was messing around with it, trying this. So the thing you do when you want to remove the stone is you kind of see, you move one like the opposite direction and it loosens it, and then you can remove this piece right here. You can also take this out and you remove the stone. It's so simple. Don't mess around with wrenches and pliers and stuff like that. You don't want to, you know, damage this. I did damage it a little bit. Okay, let's go over diamond stones. And then of course I want to get to actually sharpening, because that's the fun part. They currently offer 3 diamond wheels, a coarse, a fine, and an extra fine. Now the thing about these is you don't change the grit on these. They're never gonna go down in size or anything. They are what they are. They're a little bit more aggressive than the stones, so you'll get a little bit of a sharper result, or you'll get a faster result more than anything. Let's start with this guy. This here is locked. Water trowel. When you use the regular stone, you put in a lot of water, the stone absorbs the water, you let it sit, and then you're going to refill it, and you really want the stone to completely be submerged in water and get wet. When you use a diamond stone, it doesn't soak it up in the same way, so you don't use as much, and you also add this product. This is an anti-corrosion concentrate. So they say add 10 milliliters to 250 milliliters of water, about 4% water. So this just prevents rust from forming. This is the SE77 jig, the square edge jig. They make a whole bunch of different jigs. This is probably my most used jig though, because with this one I do most chisels and like plane blades. So let's start with this guy. Once you have your jig, you slide it on here, and you put it down, and you try to basically match the current angle. So you can see here that this is completely off. We're going to lower it. Now another way to set the angle, or even to check what angle you currently have, is to use this guy. This is their angle setter, I don't know. So first of all, you put the diameter of your stone. This is a brand new stone, right? It's diamond, it's not gonna go down in size. It's a 250. We put this here on the stone, and then we match the angle that we're at. Okay, and this is at 30, which makes sense because this is a very heavy duty kind of bench chisel. So we have our stone, we have our water trowel, we have our chisel set on the jig with the right angle. Everything is nice and secure. Now let's push. I want to actually mark out with the black pen so I can see a little bit clearer. The kind of what I'm doing right now is like a micro bevel. So apparently what this is, I was curious, like how do they do that? So the wheel here is coated with a single layer of like fine diamond, like diamond dust, and that is electrolytically anchored with nickel. So that's how these wheels are made. This is looking beautiful. Of course, when you are doing this, you're gonna get a burr. So on the stone, I would do this, but I read somewhere that you're not supposed to do this on the diamond, I guess because it's not as fine anyway. I'm just gonna do this right here. Did I mention one of the reasons why I really feel strongly for Tormek is because they are Swedish. They're a Swedish brand, and this machine is made in Sweden. And so am I. Well, I was born in Sweden and I grew up in Sweden, but now I live in the US and I have for years. But it's kind of cool to see a Swedish company, you know, so widespread everywhere, and it's such a good product. So I'm working with Tormek on this, which I think is really fun. How about a knife? This is SVM 45. I use this one quite a bit too. So it's quite simple, really. Okay, so with this jig, all you do is you hold it there and bring it down. Obviously, this is way too low. Now we're starting to look like something. So this is like. So with this knife jig, you can position this either this way or the other way. Let's turn it around. So this is becoming kind of like a fine micro bevel here. So what it is, like 17 degrees on this one. But whoa, this might be too sharp. Whoa, maybe I did the angle a little too steep. This is a carving gouge. And in order to do that, we're going to move this from this position to this position. This way. So for this one, I'm going to position in here. See the kind of light angle here, and let's remove the burr real quick too. I know people who like wood turners who, you know, need their tools extremely sharp all the time, you know, have this set up and go back and forth to it several times while they're working. I do a lot of stropping on the leather, and then I do like, oh, okay, let's have a big sharpening session and sharpen a whole bunch of tools. I've been meaning to do the gouge here for a long time, and it's amazing, like, oh, it's gonna be nice to use now. I'm looking forward to it. So I've been using this coarse diamond stone, right? I would say that one of the biggest difference between the stone, the regular stone, is that it is just more efficient. It's faster. I mean, sometimes you can spend a lot of time grinding something to, you know, bring it down to the right angle, or just, you know, fixing it up if it's broken. I mean, Sharpening can take a long time sometimes. The other thing, obviously, is that they just don't go down in size. They stay the same size. And you take this off. Now I'm going to put on the extra fine stone. The one that I've used by far the most, you know, the coarse one. I mean, the fine is great too, but this extra fine, you can get some pretty sharp stuff. It's funny, when you feel this, it feels like leather almost, like a honing situation. So, like, when you listen to it, it has such a different sound, you know? I guess the thing is, you can ask yourself, like, are these stones necessary? Like, no, obviously they're not necessary. You'd be fine with the original grindstone. It's a great stone, but this is very nice. And I mean, they sell these individually, so if I were to get one, I'm not sure if I would necessarily, if I still had my original stone, I would use that as well. I would probably set that to one of the settings and keep it at that. And then, I mean, I would probably get the coarse and the extra fine diamond stones and keep the other one more in the middle. I also I do like that you don't have to grind down constantly. If you're doing sharpening, you just have to switch the stones, and you've seen it's really simple. So I think that's kind of cool. You may wonder, why have I been using this without a honing compound? Because the traditional one, you put a honing compound down, you know, the kind of creamy, like white or green stuff. This is a composite honing wheel, so you don't need that on this. You will just use it as is, and you'd never have to apply the compound. So there's like one thing you don't have to think about. The traditional grindstone, that's between 220 and 1000 grit, depending on what you set the stone to. So 220 and 1000. Now this diamond wheel stone is supposed to be like 1200 grit, so it's just like a little finer. Let me do this a little more. The other thing that I desperately need to do, but I think I'll do that another time, is to take out all my kitchen knives and sharpen them. Let's see what we got here, huh? Oof. To finish this up, I always like to add some wax polish. This is our mineral oil one. This is what I used for all metal products to prevent rust from forming. And I also use it on kitchen products, like, you know, cutting boards and stuff like that, because it's food safe. And I just like to add a little bit to my tools, especially after I've been taking care of them, to give them just a little extra rust protection. I live in Virginia and it gets humid. And the shop, you know, humidity and metal doesn't do too well together. It's almost like after you clean your house. It's the best feeling. Everything is nice and tidy. Your tools have been taken care of. It's great. I love it. Especially this knife. Whoa. I put like a warning sign on it, like super sharp. But yeah, hope you're having a good day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. I almost forgot. Actually, I want to show you guys one feature on here. Whoops. I'm gonna go out and dump this water first, and then I'll show you. Okay, so this is the trough, right? So this is where the water is, and this is where kind of any metal shavings collect to. So this is magnetic. They have this little tool here, little scraper. Right here, there's a magnet, and that's where this all collects. So this is all metal that we just took off. And you can just scrape it off like that. And then we just put this back on here. Oops.